Saturday night lights, or Saturday evening lights if you will, in Vancouver, British Columbia, as the Legion will play host to this Pacific Division rivalry in week 14 of the regular season. Both teams need this win for completely different reasons. Seattle still competing for a first round bye, Vancouver looking to finish at 7-5 and further improve their playoff chances. My name is Jacob Clear. Alongside me this evening is one of the best additions we've had this season to the analyst department of this league, John Warren. First of all, John, what's going on and what are you looking forward to in this incredible matchup?
Well, thanks for the intro, Jacob. I'm really looking forward to a battle between two elite running backs. These two teams have two of my favorite backs in the league. Seattle's Blue Scott's in the top 10 in rushing, an average per carry, and has a staggering 22 touchdowns headed into this week. Logan Lee has been similarly spectacular for Vancouver, boasting an even better average yards per carry and matching Blue Scott's 22 touchdowns. Both backs should be really active in today's game. These are two elite offenses. I'm looking forward to a lot of points.
We welcome you here to the coin toss at the Delta Dome in Vancouver, and you're absolutely right, those 22 touchdowns for Scott and Logan Lee are tied first this season in the league. Both of these offenses, Vancouver second in points scored this season, Seattle a very close third. Both of these offenses are candidates for the best in simulation football. As the home side will receive this opening kickoff at the front of the end zone by Chris Sanseri. He will return. As a matter of fact, it's Brett Killian on return duty, the all-time wide receiver for this Vancouver outfit. Started off in season 8. I was talking to him this week on Around the SFL and about his career, and for Vancouver they're staring down the possibility of finishing below 500 for the first time in as many as 8 seasons. I'll start off here with a toss to the left-hand side. That's Logan Lee, and he will pick up a gain of 4, and that's what we're expecting a heavy dosage of tonight.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of Logan Lee. We'll see Robert Redford take some of the pressure off of Logan Lee, but lots of Logan Lee this year, and it's been working very well for Vancouver.
The Joker's formation, Killian on his own to the left. Send McMichaels in motion, the tight end. The toss will go again to Lee, it looks like, and he will be dropped for a loss of about 1, and that's good defensive play by Seattle. And you mentioned Robert Redford, the natural. It's been such an impressive start to the career of Logan Lee. He's taken over this backfield that was dominated for so long by Redford in just his first season. Go to a 4 wide set. Lee will run a route and Brown will pump, get some more time for himself, looks downfield, it's incomplete. What a brilliant play by Christian Brown, but he couldn't find Chris Curtis on the deep look, and Seattle gets the early stop.
Yeah, he was able to roll out to the right. That was an impressive little play from Christian Brown. Yeah, this double-headed running back situation with Lee and Redford has been working. The double-headed quarterback situation for Vancouver, which I'm sure we'll get into, a bit more confusing, a bit more interesting. Maybe we'll see some wrinkles in that today.
Punt is sent away and will be caught at about the 30, and return on that one by Fox Highland. Credit Amar Bryant Jr. who got the tackle for loss on Logan Lee, which set up the third down situation that Vancouver couldn't get out of, and now the Nemesis will take over just outside their own 30. Type attack, this multi-talented quarterback will start under center and will throw on his first play, and that looks downfield. Good look and good catch off the back foot, and Paulie Truth gets the first play of the game.
Paulie Truth is Seattle's kind of red zone ace, leads the team in 4 receiving touchdowns, but right here he gets free in the middle, really has nobody in front of him. Yeah, Vancouver lucky that they had someone back there to stop that. Otherwise, it could have been a bigger play.
Hamilton played off ball there a bit and allowed Paulie Truth to have a ton of room to bring that in. Handoff goes to Scott, and Scott's got room on the outside. She breaks the first, got a block on the outside, and that's a second straight first down play. Great carry by Baloo Scott to enter the game.
Type Attack gets sacked a lot, and so Achilles Papatonis on Vancouver's side is going to be looking for that. Seattle wants to get Baloo Scott involved early to kind of avoid situations where Patak has got to drop back and take time for the play to develop, because with Papatonis on the field, there's not going to be a lot of time to look for your reads.
Great introduction to Baloo Scott. See, they'll maintain a pro. Patak will throw. It looks downfield, tipped away, and Drew Hamilton. If he went for the ball instead of the man, he might have had an opportunity to pick. Great tip by Marquise Reed.
Yeah, that was a good play. What do you think about these city unis for Vancouver? I like the skyline on the helmets.
Yeah, really nice. They've done similar designs with their end zones here a couple of times this season. It's a lovely look, and Seattle also in that grey and purple. And Patak will launch deep again. It's tipped away. Mark Lopez was pursuing that tip, but good coverage in the end by one of the corners. And this Vancouver defense has a lot of depth in their secondary. We'll get to the starters in just a moment, perhaps. But Seattle now 3rd and 10 after what was a very good start to the drive. Attack with time. He's got a man downfield. Caught, and I shouldn't say a man, and T to Queen for the first time today. Check that. That was John Fullerton.
Yeah, Fullerton there, right. Getting to the outside. That was a good looking route and a good, well placed ball by Type Attack. That was kind of into some coverage, threw it only where Fullerton could grab it. Good first down.
So much talent in this Vancouver receiving corps. They'll rotate all 5 of those guys around quite a lot, and that's Baloo Scott will pick up the first. We'll just read through the rest of the Seattle offense with fullback Dean Jackson in front of those two, that back. Christian Butchikalupi, Gus Scott, Fox Highwind, Tita Queen, and John Fullerton, the receivers. Paulie Truth, the lone tight end. The offensive line, Matty Mack, Will Stevens, Ethan Kai, and Clarence Carver. As they will send, looks like Butchikalupi in motion. And it's going to go that way and caught.
Wow.
In air. That was impressive. Top athleticism. It looks like it may have been high wind. No, it was Butchikalupi. I should trust myself. That was the man they sent in motion. It went that way. Paulie Truth with a great call. Not Paulie Truth. Type Attack with a great call at the line. And that sets them up with goal to go. That's high wind. He'll go in motion this time. Looking for Scott here on the goal line. Attack will throw. It still goes that way. And Baloo Scott will carry it. In fact, it's Dean Jackson, the fullback, runs the outside route. And he will get the opening score of the game. Seattle involving all of their passing weapons.
First touchdown of the year for Dean Jackson, rushing or in the passing game. Type Attack had no time. I just want to point that out. We talked about the pass rush of Vancouver Legion. He had to get that ball out immediately. Did so to the flat to Dean Jackson. And this is a great start for the Seattle Nemesis team that is trying to go 9-3 on the season and possibly get that first round bye.
Extra point from Christian Ronald Sui is up and good, and I've been told from behind the scenes I need to wake up. I think I do, but that opening drive certainly woke me up.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way to do it, right? Nice offense, nice balance. Getting Bachi Galupi involved, who's only caught 7 balls before that really impressive one-handed catch. Dean Jackson getting involved, so balance, but also Baloo Scott. So it's a mix of what's been working and some mix of something new.
Kickoff caught at the goal line. It'll be returned. This time it's a different return, and that time it is Sunseri, so I get it right that time, and he'll return it up plus 30. Good return. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your play today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. As Brown will come back out to try and correct his wrongs from the opening drive, and Logan Lee is straight back into the action, but that's another good defensive play by TJ Frosty, the free safety that they brought over from Denver in the off-season. That's only a gain of 1. They've really locked onto Logan Lee so far.
Yeah, the game plan is pretty predictable, but also good for Vancouver. But Seattle's really scouted it. They've looked really good in the run game so far.
And if we'll go back to Lee up the middle, they're trying to just crash him up the middle of Seattle's defense. That nets a better gain of about 5 and means third down's a bit more comfortable. But last time they came out on third down, it was a deep look that was directed towards Chris Curtis that was overthrown. I'll maintain a spread look here. Brown will roll out. He's got a pocket to throw out of. Good tip, because that was headed in the direction of Sawyer Stern, but it was batted away by Doug Day, and Seattle gets another stop.
Doug Day, they're in the box looking for possibly a run, but was able to just kind of plant himself in the middle of the field, got his hands up, knocked that down. This is another punt for Vancouver, not the start that they wanted in front of this home crowd.
Not at all. So Vancouver have the early advantage in scoreboard and possession as Highwind takes that. This Vancouver defense, Achilles Papatonis, the sack leader, Cabram Womack, Gerald Giudice, Michael Rury, the linebackers Josh Farnsey, DJ Woods and Marquise Reed. The corners Emmanuel Blackman, Michael Lister, Zach Lay, Will Stern, and the safeties Mark Lopez, Drew Hamilton and JJ Winfield. They'll go to a triple single back formation. Patak short drop. That's caught across the middle. He's found Paulie again. That picks up 7.
I was calling the game between Vancouver and Denver when Achilles Papatonis, I believe, had 4 sacks in one game. So, he could be such a difference maker for this defense. And if Ty Patak starts to drop back and get hit, this could look like a different game for sure.
Patak will scramble, and that's a great play. We've seen that so many times this season from this rookie quarterback, and that was not by design, that run. He was in a rollout motion and then took it down himself. Such an intelligent player.
It almost looked like a triple option play in college football. I mean, but he cut up field so fast. I think you're right. I don't think it was designed to do that, but he just decided to cut up field and go, and it was the right move.
And move Highwind in motion to Patak's right. Patak, cool pressure got there, and he finds Fox Highwind on the right-hand side, and Fox breaks a couple tackles. He almost broke that one off completely. What an impressive play from the Fox.
Yeah, Highwind almost breaks this. He just steps out of bounds, just barely. He had another 10 yards ahead of him. So close.
He had a case there.
So close, yeah.
He might have put maybe a centimetre of his shoe on the white stripe on the outside of the field there. Boy, he was close to breaking that free. Impressive play. And Vancouver is starting to break here. Patak is going to wind this play clock down. He'll drop back. Again, Vancouver sends pressure, and it gets out to the backfield, and Blue Scott, I tell you, Vancouver are trying to get pressure on the type attack, and they've paid the price for it on 2 occasions now on this drive. There were probably 3 or 4, or maybe 2 or 3, I should say, extra defenders that were sent into the area, and unfortunately it meant Blue Scott could get free. Drew Hamilton cutting across to save the day.
Yeah, there are 2 rookies on this offensive line for Seattle, and a couple of veterans, including Ethan Kai. I'm really impressed so far with the way that they've been handling pass protection against what is a very good defensive front from Vancouver.
Hand off, another one for 21, and she's gone. Left-hand side, no one in front of her, she will score. Blue Scott straight back into it, and this time she breaks it free for a 7-pointer.
These are perfect play calls. I think this is one of the best called offensive couple series I've seen this season. Just a lot of balance, not really giving Vancouver anything that they can latch onto predictably, except Blue Scott. You know, if Blue Scott gets the ball, she could do a whole lot with it, and that was just an outstanding cut to the outside. The spin was beautiful. What a touchdown. 23rd on the season for Blue Scott.
That spin move on Mark Lopez was absolutely disgusting, but it's not about how you do it. It's how it looked very pretty, and Blue's got her 23rd on the season. As Ronald Sui will send it back to Vancouver, and now the score is out to 2. As Killian will be sworn back in as the returner, and he'll pick up back to the 25, and that's where we'll introduce you to this Seattle defense. Darko Young, Sean Parent, Aaron Steen, the defensive line, Matthias Citrion, TJ Harper, Sabo Kanan, Aaron Gooden are the linebackers, the Catbacks, Amar Bryant Jr., Daniel Valentine, Sammy Seatbelt, and then TJ Frosty, John Jones, Doug Day, and Bryant James are the safeties. A loaded defensive backfield for both of these outfits. Could be important in this game with Vancouver now down. Could be looking for those 2 outside receivers who are both staring down 1,000 yards on the season. Brown rolls out. He's got a man in the backfield as Sawyer Stern, the fullback, and he will pick up 3, but it's clear now that Vancouver may look to venture away from Logan Lee.
Yeah, I don't know if it's time to totally abandon the game plan if the plan is to get Logan Lee involved, but you've also got Brett Killian, Chris Curtis, 2 really, really elite receivers out there. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a couple shots on this drive.
I feel like they got to try and get him in space rather than trying to send him up the middle. Brown will throw out of a heavy look, and he's going to pay the price.
Wow.
Interception by the corner, Daniel Valentine, and that's a very costly turnover for Vancouver. Seattle's defense gets the break.
Valentine's 4th pick of the season. He's had a storied career just kind of doing this to defenses. Christian Brown looks pretty bad so far this game. I think it's just because Seattle has just scouted the team very well. Christian's maybe trying to force a couple things. Still early. Vancouver can recover from this, but they got to start putting some pressure on Seattle's offense on a short field.
Seattle now with a change of position already inside Vancouver territory. Truth will go in motion. Attack across the middle. Oh, that one's picked off. How about that for a play from Earl Fields? And the possession goes right back into the hands of the Legion.
I mean, Marcus Reed, that was an outstanding interception right there in the middle. Yeah, he heard me. He said, Vancouver's got to get their team back into this thing on the defensive side of the ball. That kind of turnover can kind of be a reset, I think, for Christian Brown and this offense to say, okay, listen, we got away with one. Our defense got it back. Let's take a breath. Let's try to get a game plan together that's going to get us down the field and get some points on the board.
Marquise Reed, the former free safety, getting an athletic pick there, and Now Brown launches across his body. It's caught by Chris Curtis. Downfield, second target for Curtis. This time he gets a hold of it. And that's a very good start to the drive for Vancouver. Boy, did they need that.
Yeah, and I think you've got two really great receivers out there that can work the outside against these corners. These corners are good, but they don't turn the ball over that much. So, you can test them a little bit. And I think Chris Curtis and Brett Killian, two good receivers to test this defense with. Good start.
Brown drops back again, waiting for a play to develop downfield. He was looking for Curtis for a second straight play, looking for the hot hand. And it falls away harmlessly. We'll look at the Vancouver offense. Quarterback Christian Brown and Austin Blanco, the backup, the backs Logan Lee, Robert Redford and Cy Stern. The receivers Chris Sunseri, Brett Killian, Timothy Mossam King, Zorro Luna and Chris Curtis. The tight ends Abel Ruiz and Stephen McMichaels. On the line, Mike Coverson, Perina Barra, Michael Pacocco and Mike Newtones. 8 minutes gone in this game, and Brown will drop back again. An incomplete, or it looked like McMichaels had a chance at that one as well, but it was targeted towards Chris Curtis, who was bumped off his route. And now Vancouver are set up with another third down situation. They haven't converted one yet. Empty back set for the Legion. They're going to bring all 5 of those contract receivers out. Not a bad idea. Seattle are leaving that middle a little exposed. Brown, that's where it goes. And Brett Killian's going to break it off. Down inside the 10, nobody in front of him. He will score, and Vancouver are on the board.
Now, no one's ever accused me of being a genius, but what was the difference between that drive and the last couple? They got Brett Killian and Chris Curtis involved almost exclusively. Test this secondary. They don't create that many turnovers. That interception was kind of an aberration, right? So test this secondary, and maybe you'll get some return. Maybe Logan Lee can get back into this game. That's a good answer from Vancouver after their defense bailed them out of that last turnover.
There you go. Great throw by Christian Brown. He recognized that Seattle defense had left the middle quite open.
Yeah.
And he hit him over the back. Unbelievable play. If you're liking the game so far, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one that gives you that much football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. As Fox Hyman will get another return up to the 30. And that's where Seattle will get the ball back. So there you go. A turnover by Daniel Valentine that could have been taken back for a score, mind you. It was a real 50-50 play that Vancouver had the turnover on. And then Marquise Reed took it right back on the very next play. And Vancouver turned that turnover into points. And all of a sudden, the game script has flipped again. And Seattle will get possession back. And starting at their 30. Scott to the left. She breaks the first one. Baloo Scott's off and gone. See you later. Baloo Scott in open field. And she will not be caught. One play is all Baloo Scott needed, and she gets right back into the end zone for a 70-yard touchdown.
That is just nasty. That is just incredible individual effort and some good blocking, of course. But that second turbo jet that Baloo Scott has, once she sees a little bit of daylight, she's just gone. Right here at the 50, it's just like you could not guarantee anything any harder than that. That was just going to be a touchdown all the way. Seattle with a loud answer to that Vancouver drive. Say, hey, not so fast. You're going to have to really boat race us if you're going to win this game. A lot of scoring, 28 points in this first quarter so far, and it's not over yet.
28 points in 8 minutes and 18 seconds. This game promised points And it has
Yeah.
certainly delivered on that. These two offenses have both been producing some big plays early. If you're tuning into this one, we've seen some highly impressive offensive play from both sides. Vancouver to get the ball back. Again, down by 2 scores. They probably offense just came off the field thinking they were back in the game, and now all of a sudden they're chasing it. As Killian, who had the touchdown play, will bring it out to the 30, and now the Legion will try to recreate their efforts from the previous drive. And John, you have to feel that the last approach on that drive, you kind of have to go back to it. Even you're not going to abandon Logan Lee per se, but you want to try and get him into some more space to see if he can get an explosive run like what Blue Scott was able to manage just then. He's so much better as a back when he gets into some space.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you have to get these receivers involved. You have to get Logan out to the flat. You just have to mix this up. Try to put another touchdown on the board as soon as you can.
That's a better call. He didn't break it off, but that's what we're looking for. Logan Lee on a toss just tried to get it to the outside. Seattle got enough pressure to that edge, and Doug Day finishes off the play.
Best stats truck in the game, letting us know this is the 9th possession of the first quarter. That is astonishing. This has been a fun one so far.
Brown pressure picked off.
Wow!
It was underthrown towards Curtis, and Seattle have another turnover. Aaron Gooden, the outside linebacker, gets the pick.
Oh, I mean, he was going right to Chris Curtis, maybe telegraphed it. You know, Seattle's been making these adjustments pretty quickly. You know, Logan Lee was getting a ton of carries early on. They were stuffing that. Vancouver mixes it up. Now they score. Now Seattle kind of sees how they're going to mix it up, adjusting accordingly, creates another turnover by Christian Brown.
The tag now back with possession, and Blue Scott's going to get another carry. Oh, she nearly broke it off again.
Oh, man.
Goodness me, every time she touches it, it looks like it's going to be an open field touchdown. But that was disappointing because Christian Brown just had pressure in his face and had to throw it off his back foot, and that meant that the pass was a little shorter than where he wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And Aaron Gooden gobbled that up. And now Seattle is staring down. That's our 10th possession in 9 minutes, so we're averaging more than a possession every minute in this game. Attack will roll out. That's a design run for type attack, and he's going to take it off. Tried the spin move at the 10, and he's cleaned up, but that's a great run. Type attack, getting the legs involved, and we're seeing there's so much diversity to this offense, so much creativity that type attack has brought in both as the quarterback and the head coach.
Yeah, statistically, these two are the third and fourth offenses, respectively, Vancouver and Seattle. But what do your eyeballs tell you? I mean, your eyeballs kind of tell you that Seattle's offense might be the best in football because they have a creative play caller and the offensive personnel to pull it off.
Attack gets the carry. That's going to get nothing from defense around the line. And, well, if there were any doubt over how good this offense was and this team was after the Mexico City loss, it's since been put to bed. Seattle are up 21 points to 7 after 1 on the road in Vancouver. We'll be back with Seattle on Goal to Go. Back here in the Delta Dome here in Vancouver, British Columbia. Attack drops back. Time, end zone, picked off, Drew Hamilton. Vancouver have got another turnover, so suddenly these two offenses can't protect the ball.
Yeah, and I don't know if type attack just didn't see Hamilton back there. Hamilton barely moved from his original position at the beginning of that play. He's just kind of playing center field in the back of that end zone. If type attack had gotten that a little bit to the outside and up a little bit, it could have gotten to his target, but no, it's another pick. So big turn of events here for Vancouver. Maybe they can get something on the board.
Brown launches. Oh, that was risky. He was looking for Brett Kelly, and Doug Day was right there in the area to bat that away. But boy, did Seattle need that. Vancouver need that. They were backed up on the goal line, and they get an interception when they really couldn't afford to concede again. It's a gift for their offense. 4 wide. This is what we want to see more of from Vancouver, trying to pursue the game, is getting these receivers out there, looking downfield. That's caught, and he almost broke it 3. Looks like Timothy Mossam King with his first catch of the game.
Yeah, Mossam King. I think that's his biggest catch of the season. I think that went for about 22 yards, something like that. His previous was about 14, I think. So yeah, maybe Vancouver taking a little bit out of Seattle's playbook, saying, hey, we got to spread it around to some guys that haven't gotten as much action this season.
Mossam King, the 107th pick in the season 21 rookie draft, as Lee goes back to the ground and bullies his way through a couple of Seattle defenders and picks up 7. And so Vancouver is starting to tee up. That was a nice run by Logan Lee. Maybe they shouldn't listen to me and keep running him up the middle if he's going to keep doing that.
Well, the box was soft, right? I mean, we've seen a lot of people in the box for Vancouver. Now that Christian Brown's starting to spread it out a little bit, we're seeing that box soften a little bit. They took advantage of it. We'll see what happens next. Oh, another run up the middle.
Again. It looks like it was Stern, no, it was Lee, up the middle, and that picks up a first.
Yeah, I mean, it works wonders.
Stern, just send him straight up the middle, watch him run him over like bowling pins.
Yeah, when you start to get some success on the outside, it might soften some things up for you. They might be sending more help to the secondary because we've seen the secondary look a little vulnerable, so it might open up some running lanes for Lee.
Brown, he's got a man, Chris Curtis. And just all of a sudden, this Vancouver offense is starting to find their weapons. Couple of really good runs from Logan Lee, backed up by a catch across the middle to Chris Curtis. And Christian Brown's got another completion.
Chris Curtis has got some of the strongest hands in football. It's just so tough to make a catch like that when the defender draped all over you, but he reels it in and converts.
Brown again, twins to his bottom. He's going to throw. It's caught by downfield. Looks like it's the tight end, Stephen McMichaels, who was formerly a fullback, bit of a journeyman, both in position and also in terms of teams that he's played for. He started his career as an SFL running back in the minor league, then played fullback for most of his time with San Diego and Queen City, and now finds himself as the lead tight end for this elite Vancouver offense, and he set them up inside goal line territory, and goal line eye is the call from head coach Andy Hamilton.
This is Logan Lee territory.
The explosive Logan Lee will get the carry to the left, and right on cue, he runs it in for a score, and Vancouver cut it back down to the 7.
It was almost impossible for Seattle to contain Logan Lee all day, and it looks like they've cleared some running lanes for him in that last drive. Obviously, the play calling, spreading things out, made a difference, but maybe the blocking scheme's getting a little more comfortable with this Seattle front. They needed that touchdown, and Logan Lee delivered.
Chance to win the extra point. He's up and through, and that's a great scoring drive from Vancouver. He absolutely needed that, and it came off the turnover. They took it 80 yards on the drive, but it came off of that goal line turnover by Drew Hamilton that shifted the momentum just slightly enough. And now we've got a game on again. That kickoff is not returnable. And we'll see Seattle come back out on the field. Patak and Brown both have 2 interceptions in this game. Type Attack's going to try and secure the ball. He's only had 7 interceptions this season. And this Seattle offense has just not turned the ball over very much at all this season. But early on, it's been completely the opposite. It's like Fullerton will go in motion. Attack, handoff. Scott got jammed behind a lineman. Then she's off. And a first down carry for Blue. Scott, nice patience from the back.
Yeah, she'll let those blocks develop. She's got 143 yards rushing today so far.
Unbelievable.
We're not even halfway through the second quarter yet, and she's just making this offensive line look great. She's making Vancouver's defense look silly. It's an impressive game so far.
Attack drops back, and they had a chance at it. There's a flag down on the play. Looks like Vancouver's defense a little too aggressive, and we're kind of expecting defensive pass interference. Instead, it's a incidental face mask, and that will help Vancouver, and that will help Seattle with their field position battle.
Yeah, I missed it in real time. I guess it was on that. I'm with you. I thought it was pass interference, but they must have gotten him with the face mask.
Offset eye for Patak. I'll hand it off. Scott's got a block on the outside, and that's a good carry finished up by Marquise Reed, but she's still net 6.
I think that's so impressive about Blue Scott is that, that first hit, it's almost like a freebie. So she always is able to either spin free or lower her shoulder or just keep her legs moving to get an extra couple yards, even when, she gets hit.
Attack, incomplete. Looked like he was looking for Paulie again. And Mark Lopez in the area says, no, sir. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 here for Seattle. So they've got a pro set, could potentially be a run. There's a lot of space seemingly for Scott to run into on that left-hand side. But Patak will throw. He's got a good block on the outside. Caught in double coverage. Paulie Truth had both Mark Lopez and Marquise Reed all over him, and he still got up, climbed the ladder, and made the catch.
Yeah, you're right. On that near side, they had some space to do a couple of things. Maybe pass out to Blue Scott, maybe run it out that way. But that route was really nice, and that underneath throw is perfectly placed. And they got the first down on that tough catch from Paulie Truth.
Zach starting to regain that momentum he had in the first quarter. Drops back. This time he's got time again across the middle, and it's caught. Second consecutive first down throw, and Fox Highwind checks back in.
Fox Highwind, such a shifty athlete. You almost forget that he's 6'4". I mean, he's a huge target. But he can just kind of disappear in the middle of coverage and then kind of reappear. It's almost like a superpower. And that was a really nice route. And a nice throw by Patak.
Fox Highwind now over 6,500 career receiving yards. Such an impressive career. Patak drops back. That's a great catch.
Wow.
Across the middle, that looked like it was T. DeQueen on the grab.
Yeah, that was her first grab of the game, and it was a tough one. It was maybe one of the best catches we've seen out of a few that were really, really good. She knew she was going to get hit and hung on to it.
Unreal the amount of talent on this Seattle offense, particularly in the receiving core. Patak, another design run. This time he's got space. Call it 6. Ty Patak using his legs. It's his 3rd run, but his first rushing touchdown for the game.
These runs, whether they're designed or they're just kind of, check the coverage and take off runs. We've seen 3 really impressive ones from Patak, and that one, the most impressive rollout. Nobody could have strolled in, kind of pogo sticked in type attack. Nice run and putting 28 on the board before halfway through the second quarter. It's impressive offense.
Extra point from Ronald Sui is up and good, and not just the arm talent of this first overall pick from the most recent rookie draft, but also the elusiveness that he possesses as a ground rusher. That time just faked it, went to the outside, and there was no one in Kui, and type attack will pick up another rushing touchdown to add to his lot for this season, as Killian will return this, in fact, to Sunseri to the left-hand side. He's got it up past the 30 and to the 37 is where he'll be dropped. 5 minutes. So the scoring has cooled off just a little bit here in this second half. We went from 28 in the first 8 minutes to 2 scores so far in 5 in this second quarter.
Yeah, type attack's been really living up to that kind of first pick in the draft, high expectations, and has really delivered. That red zone interception earlier, that's a red mark. Obviously, you never want to see your rookie quarterback do that, but he's really been very impressive in this game. Let's see if Vancouver responds.
Logan Lee outside. Oh, he got room, bumped through. One of the defenders looked like it may have been Brian James, and Sabo Cannon comes through and makes the play, and he's straight back to Logan Lee, who's had a rough afternoon by his standards. The Seattle defense has been locked onto him pretty well thus far. I'll keep a goal line eye here. McMichael's in motion. They passed out of this before, and it resulted in a pick, so watch out for that. And they'll run it. It's Logan Lee outside. That's a first down carry. 2 straight runs for Lee. 5 and 6, first down.
Yeah, Lee's gotten a good string of first downs over the past couple of drives. It's good to get him going, but you're right. It's not the kind of day that he's used to.
Another run to the left for Lee, and he's got some room. No, finished up. Good recovery by Seattle's defense. He was breaking tackles for fun in the middle of that second level. Picks up 6.
Sabo Kane giving him the Dikembe Mutombo finger wag. No, you're not going to get past this level of our defense. But still a 6-yard gain. Not a bad start for this sequence.
McMichael's motioned again from right to left. Split backfield. Hand off to the left, Logan Lee, that's a first. So they're happy to run this clock out. And not the worst idea, because a scoring drive here brings it back within 7. And you can start asking questions again, but still plenty of time left in this second quarter, given the way scoring has gone so far. Offset eye, you'd love to see an outside run here for Logan Lee and see if he can get him in space. In fact, Brown will pass. Look across his body, it's incomplete, looking for Chris Curtis. And it was just sitting at his ankles and couldn't quite reel that in.
I think the strategy makes sense, though. Try to run the clock out. Maybe don't give Seattle enough time to do something with the drive right before the half, because they get the ball at the beginning of the second half. So Vancouver maybe trying to prevent a 2-for-1 situation. Probably a smart move.
Keeping the Twins look. This time they'll run it with Lee, and Lee's going to get it to the outside. He's got room. Logan Lee runs it out of bounds. That's the first time he's seen some open space, and you feel like that's been coming for a little bit.
Yeah, he's a 6.3 yards per carry kind of guy. And so you knew he was going to get a few of these. It's rare that he gets totally shut down in a game, and that's his best carry of the game by far. Vancouver happy to get him going.
Stats department, Ron Haynes and James Walters give us that he's now up at 70 yards on the evening. It's been a tough 70 yards for the large part, but that's his best run of the evening. Same formation for the Legion. Toss to the outside. Lee's got, he'll take out the middle, and he'll pick up 5. So that opening quarter, it will seem like he was sort of stifled to 1 and 2 yard runs. Now it sort of feels like he's leveled out and is averaging about 5 to 6 yards per touch. They'll go to a heavy set. And that split backfield. The handoff will go to Lee again, and that's going to pick up a couple. So that's more indicative of what we saw from the Seattle defense earlier in this game. And what do you think they're going to try and draw up here on 3rd and 4 if we get a play before the 2-minute warning?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think maybe a Logan Lee toss play. We haven't seen that many. We've seen a lot of plays up the middle. Maybe something on the outside to try to take advantage of some softer matchups. But we're not going to see
Don't call
2-minute
warning here at the Delta Dome. Vancouver driving to keep this game within a single score. Vancouver into a eye jokers formation with the split backfield. Looks like a potential run, but look out for Killian on the right-hand side, isolated one-on-one. There is the toss to Logan Lee, and he's bumped down in the backfield. Great defensive play. And
they had blocking advantage on the near side. I'm surprised they went far, maybe trying to throw him off, but yeah, that was just blown up in the backfield.
You had the call right. It was indeed a toss to Logan Lee. But TJ Frosty, the free safety, with another impressive tackle, and that stops the drive. But chance to win will net a 3-pointer, and now the scoreline changes just a little bit. What we've seen early was touchdown for touchdown scoring. But Seattle with 1:30 now on the clock to potentially do something if they want, with all 3 of their timeouts. Potentially put a last dagger in before the half is out. High wind to the outside, look out. Fox Highwind almost broke that one off. And here they'll start their drive at the 35, so that's an even bigger advantage along with the time left.
Fox Highwind just does so much for this team on the offensive side of the ball and special teams. He's just such a wonderful athlete for the Seattle offense. And a minute and a half, more than enough time for this offense to get down the field. We'll see what the strat is. But you have to figure starting on your own 35, great field position, you're going to want to make something out of this.
Twins to Patak's left. Pressure from Vancouver. Look out, Patak's. He broke the sack. And downfield incomplete. Boy, that was an impressive play from Type Attack. But he couldn't find his man. They went aggressive and it doesn't quite work out.
Yeah, it was still an impressive play for Patak to get out of that sack. He may have rushed the throw after avoiding that sack, but that's still an impressive play from Patak.
Attack again. This time the protection's a bit better. Oh, outside is picked. Vancouver have got the ball back. Drew Hamilton's got a second.
And it's just exactly what you can't have happen. Obviously you trust your rookie quarterback. He's been great all year, but this is his 3rd interception today. He came into the game with 7, which is, in the lower 3rd of the league, and, really impressive for any quarterback, but especially a rookie. 3 interceptions in the game so far, and Vancouver set up really nicely to maybe put some more points on the board before half.
This Vancouver defense has been giving up points, but they've stepped up when needed. A goal line pick as well, if you remember, from Drew Hamilton. That's his 2nd. They're going to motion Chris Curtis to the right. 3 on the outside. Look at this for a matchup problem. Brown drops back. He looks that way. It's picked off. Oh, neither quarterback can hold on to the ball. There goes Sammy Seatbelt, the rookie slot corner, has one.
Patak and Christian Brown, they may have come into the stadium today. Maybe they heard it was a game of hot potato and not football. I mean, it just seems like they're they're just giving the defenses these kind of easy looks. It's kind of a strange thing. We know when these offenses get into rhythm, they might start to try to force stuff. They might make some plays because they know they're just going to have a bunch of possessions to do things with. But you're still kind of surprised by some of the carelessness we've seen.
Spread wideouts for the Nemesis. Attack with a deep drop. This is aggressive from type attack, and it's incomplete. Good coverage. Yeah, I mean, Drew Hamilton is probably sitting there very upset, like thinking last time I got an interception, you turned it into 7 points. This time they get the ball back and turn it back over straight away.
Yeah. If I'm Seattle, I might be thinking about just handing this to Blue Scott, see what she can do, and if things work out, great, and if not, you go into the half up by 11. But we'll see what they draw up here.
The Taft's going to throw again. They're not going anywhere, and that's Drew Hamilton. It won't matter that it was called a fumble because he caught it before it hit the ground. He's got a hat trick. What a play!
Yeah, that's going to go into the book because it's not going to get challenged. That's going to go into the books as a fumble recovery, but that's essentially another interception. It's not really Patak's fault. That's just great defense for Vancouver, jarring that loose. Hamilton with a de facto other pick. Really impressive game for him so far. And, wow, these quarterbacks can't stop turning the ball over.
Will Stern got the hit and Drew Hamilton swooped through and picked it up. What a performance from the veteran strong safety today. Unbelievable game. Brown looks deep. It's caught. Here we go. Vancouver on the move. He's found BK12.
That was really close. I thought that was also maybe an interception, but yeah, that was an impressive catch from Zorro Lunar, I believe.
You may be right, actually. They've incorporated heaps of different weapons so far. Zorro Lunar, the first of 3 rookie receivers taken in this draft. Brown drops back. He's got 4 of them. Incomplete. Oh boy, he was looking for Mac Michaels on the outside. Aaron Gooden gets a hand to it and bats it away.
Yeah, and that was good pass protection, actually. Christian Brown actually had a little bit more time to let that develop and instead dropped it into some heavy coverage, but safely dropped to the ground, so no big deal.
Brown's going to try the same formation. 4 wide with McMichaels to his left. He's going to motion. That is Zorro Lunar. But the overload on the right. Brown's going to look that way. It's down for... Oh, Killian had a shot at it. If he wrapped that up, that was probably 6 points in a breadbasket. But it falls away incomplete.
I'm just thinking about this game. It's wild. We've called so many names, I feel like, in this game. A lot of people touching the ball on offense and defense. Names that haven't gotten involved in offenses really much up till this point. And last game of the regular season, everyone's getting involved.
Bunch to Brown's right. Brown will drop back. It's across his body. Incomplete. A bit too heavy on the pass. It falls away. And Brian James with the deflection. And we'll see. Unlikely that they'll take any risks here because the field goal from chance to win brings it back within a single score. 41-yard attempt. Second field goal attempt for to win. And this one's straight down the Hayden Pavilion. And Vancouver have all of a sudden brought it back to 8 points the difference. But boy, oh boy, John, this last few minutes has just been off the rails crazy. My goodness.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I'm thinking about the score right now. It's a 1-possession game. It's kind of anybody's game. But if I couldn't see the score right now, just judging by what we've seen in the past few minutes, like I wouldn't be able to tell you who's got the advantage right now. It's just such a bizarre game, especially in the second quarter. I just say buckle up, everyone. This is going to be a wild one.
Kickoff Return by Highwind. To the 25, and I tell you what, well, I wouldn't put it past that was Fullerton on the return. I wouldn't put it past Seattle to have another crack here. Well, you see Blue Scott's yardage there. 8 attempts, nearly 150 yards. Unbelievable game. If you're watching this one with us here at Saturday evening, it's been an absolute treat. What a game this has been in the opening half. Patak. They are going to go aggressive. Caught one-on-one. What a play. And downfield goes the Fox. And they flip the field. My goodness. Neither offense wants this half to end.
Fox Highwind has just made a couple of incredible plays after the catch in this game so far. Just a really dangerous player in the open field. Took that ball away, really, from Zach Lee. And that's just incredible individual effort. And you're right. I thought maybe they hand it off to Blue, go into the half, but you're right. They're going to try it out here, see if they can maybe get down for a field goal or maybe even put 6 on the board.
You're absolutely right. 30 seconds with 3 timeouts. You could very, very easily get into Christian Ronald-Sui territory. Patak will drop back again across his middle. He's got Paulie Truth. And they're just on the brink of the 30, so that's field goal range.
I mean, this feels like the end of the game, but it's not. We have a whole other half of this. It's incredible. It's incredible.
I feel like this game's going to go for over 2 hours. It feels like this half has taken so long, but it's because we've had so many possessions. Patak drops back. That's picked. Josh Farnsey's got an interception, and Vancouver are going to get the ball back.
What is happening?
Ty Patak went into this game as one of the least turnover quarterbacks in the league with only 7 interceptions. But Vancouver's defense has been turning the ball over like it's nothing this evening. And now we'll see, surely Vancouver are just going to run this clock out. They've got spread receivers here, so you never know. They're going to motion Stern to the right. Handoff will go to Lee, and he will plow through one. Logan Lee, he's off. Past halfway. He's going to keep it rolling, Logan Lee. That's the best run of the half. And just like that, Vancouver are back in field goal territory. What is going on?
What is happening? This is one of the wildest games I've ever had the pleasure of calling. And Logan Lee says, no, we're not done. We're going to come down. Maybe we're going to kick a field goal. If I have anything to say about it, I might be curious if the booth looks at this. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, you're right.
He might have been out about 10 yards before they called that, which would definitely change strategy for Vancouver, because I think it would put them outside of field goal range. So this will be a really interesting look to see what the refs decide to do here.
We can get a breather here in the booth as we take a retroactive look at this play. Get your Retroid at goretroid.com. And you might be right, maybe not so much 10 yards, but maybe 5 or 6, right, which could be the difference. And it's a great call by our analyst today, John Warren, and Andy Hamilton's strategy as he shakes the head may be a little bit different, but it still appears like they're in field goal range. 37-38, maybe not. I'm going to keep the offense out here. I've still got a couple of timeouts left.
Yeah, they got 2 timeouts. They could even take a shot to the middle of the field, try to see if they can get some better field position for a chance to win.
Maybe I set. I'm going to run it here with Lee. Oh, look out. He might break this off. Oh, Logan Lee. He had the goal line in his sights, and he was dragged from behind by Doug Day. What a save. But goodness me, Vancouver are just turning it on here to end the half. Now they're going to bring our chance to win. Well, that was a great call because he picked up an extra 10 yards.
Right.
And that made it a lot more comfortable for the veteran kicker. Second one, good. And we're still going to get a kick return before this half is out.
We're going to technically get another possession in this game. Unbelievable.
With the way it's been going, Fox Highwind could break it off for 100 yards. It's been that kind of a half. But look at that. Over 50 points in a half from this game. Promised points. It has certainly given us points. We had 28 in the first quarter and we thought, oh, surely that was unsustainable. No, it's very sustainable. That kickoff is not returned, but Seattle will get a play on offense.
They're going to play on offense. This is astonishing. I've never really seen anything like this.
Well, barring something unforeseen, Seattle have gone aggressive virtually every time they've gotten the ball here inside 2 minutes, but they've got 3 receivers spread out, but surely you think they hand it off to Blue Scott and we can take a breather. Oh, Patak will throw. No, forget that. Patak downfield. Oh, incomplete. Tell you what, that could have been something if he reeled it in, but a bit too much pressure on the coverage, and that'll do us for a half in the Delta Dome. What a game this is turning out to be. 28 points to 23. Seattle holds the lead on the road, but Vancouver are well in this contest. John Warren, so much to unpack in so little time, but give us your key takeaways from that first half.
Well, that was the 20th possession. I've never seen anything like this. 20 possessions in the first half. We've seen Ty Patak turn the ball over 4 times. We've seen Christian Brown turn the ball over, technically 4 times, although one of those will not go in the books as an interception. And I think this is 2 running backs that we talked about at the beginning of the game. They're actually having wild, great games. 149 yards for Blue Scott, 127 for Logan Lee. And yet, we're looking at this kind of pass-happy, turnover-prone offense. I would not be surprised if both these teams kind of settle down in the second half, hand the ball off more to their 2 elite running backs, and get off of this roller coaster. But you know what? For our sake, for the fans' sake, how entertaining this has been, I kind of hope they just continue to air it out and do this bonkers stuff. But either way, this is going to be a great second half. Can't wait.
The Legion's home field, the Delta Dome, is hosted by DeltaFlare, a startup company building video games and economic solutions for blockchain compatibility. Grab your Nords and get ready for their premiere title, Valor Rising Quest of the Seven. Visit their website at deltaflare.gg for more details. We've got a flag here on the kickoff return. Taken out by John Fulton. There's a clipping penalty.
Block in the back here. So it's gonna set him back for some rough field position to start the second half.
It's called on for Fox Highway. Just a little tidbit from the stats truck. James Walters and Ron Haynes giving us the stats. 20 possessions in that opening half in 20 minutes. We averaged a possession a minute. Unbelievable. That still seems ridiculous even after what we've seen. Seattle are going to start on the ground here with Blue Scott, and that's a good carry. Picks up 9, and that gets them back to where they probably would have started had they gone touchback.
Yeah, and I mean, getting Blue Scott involved makes a lot of sense. I mean, she's essentially on pace for a 300-yard day on the ground, and it makes sense to just get off the wild ride, settle type attack down, and get some run game going.
Absolutely. Type Attack's got to hang on to the football. Here he's going to roll out and carry it himself. He's got space. He's created it again to the outside, and eventually, he almost broke free from Will Stern, but he picks up a very good gain and a first. The ground game from Type Attack today has been impressive.
Yeah, and he's been impressive, through the air the entire season, really. But it's looking a little wonky today, so it's nice that he's also getting this run game going to remind everyone how dangerous he can be in several facets.
Josh Farnsey motioning in the middle of the Vancouver defense. Split backfield for Patak. He's going to throw. Looks downfield. He's caught. Downfield finds Fox Highwind for the 4th time tonight.
Yeah, I love this. I love this route from Fox, and just takes the inside angle, gets in front of his defender and makes the catch there, moves the sticks for Seattle.
Fox Highway can beat anyone with the right route, such a diverse route tree that he has in his carousel of skills. And I'll motion him here from left to right. Outside handoff, Blue Scott is going to get another 4 cleaned up by Will Stern. And they just keep it back to the ground. You've thrown Blue Scott out, then Patak takes a run, and then he completes over the middle with a pass. But the game has certainly settled down to start this second half, as you alluded to at the halftime break. That's picked off!
Wow.
Just as I say that, commentators curse, and Josh Franzi's got another one.
Type attack is, I'll just say it, I hope this isn't true for his sake or Seattle's sake. He is on pace to double his interception total in this game that he's had all season. This is astonishing. This Vancouver defense has been good, especially in the pass rush, but they're not necessarily that great at turning the ball over, and this has just been a bonanza for this team today.
What a crazy game. Hand off Logan Lee. He's got space up the middle. That's going to net 6. And Vancouver have just all of a sudden got all the momentum. It's worth noting, Seattle haven't scored since early in that second quarter. There was a real scoring lull for this offense that started the game so well. And now all of a sudden Logan Lee has just taken over the ball game.
Yeah.
Along with this Vancouver offense. I'm going to go back to a Joker's formation here. Hand off again, the toss to the outside, and Lee is claimed. That was better defense. Doug Day in on the stop.
Some more stats truck goodness. Farnsey had 5 career interceptions coming into this game. He's got 2 in this one alone. So out of 6 seasons, coming up with 2 more to add to that 5 total is really impressive.
Roll out from Brown, looks across his body. It's caught by Chris Curtis. And that gets him inside the 35.
And here's kind of where I would expect Christian Brown, 6-season veteran, to maybe settle this offense down a little, say, okay, listen, we've got Seattle a little bit on their heels. They can't hold on to the ball. They're not committing to a run game that they probably should. Let's take advantage of it with some smart throws, good coverages, take advantage of some easy looks, and get the ball down the field.
Brown continuing to make it happen when needed. Hand off Logan Lee, crosses across the middle, and he will pick up 6. So Logan Lee now approaching 150 yards. That was Blue Scott's rushing total for the opening half. Christian Brown approaching 200 as well through the air. Hand off Lee outside, tries to find room, and eventually cleaned up by one of the linebackers in that Seattle defense. And this is a 3rd and short. You kind of expect them to go back to Logan Lee. I mean, Seattle have stopped him a few times in short yard situations, but so far it's felt like he's been a safe 5 or 6 yards every time he's touched the ball at the very least. And off will go to Lee again, and that's exactly what happens. Picks up the first with comfort.
Good call, partner. Yeah, Logan Lee had been stopped for losses a few times in those opening couple of drives, but really since then, once they started spreading out, that box has just gotten softer, and now Lee is getting 3, 4, 5 yards a carry, especially up the middle.
Toss play, Lee outside. Here we go. Logan Lee, open space. Just inside the 5. Good pressure by Aaron Gooden to push him out of bounds. And just something I'm picking up here from the stats truck. Vancouver have involved 6 different receivers. Seattle have involved 7 different receivers, so both of these quarterbacks been spreading out the ball a heap, but that's a great carry by Logan Lee. The only receiver who hasn't been involved yet for Vancouver has been Chris Sunseri, but he's been doing special teams work, so you can argue that they've all had their involvement. Goal line eye, Logan Lee's going to be hard to stop from here. First carry is met, and only a yard gain, so that's better defense from Seattle. And just like that, we've only had 2 possessions. We've already lost a minute of this third down clock, so this game is well and truly taken a step back in the intensity we saw in that opening half.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. Split backfield. Handoff. Lee got caught behind some blockers, and Seattle takes it up, and Bryant James gets in and makes the stop.
Yeah, leading tackler for this Nemesis defense, and that was a nice effort for Bryant James to get back behind those blockers and bring Logan Lee down.
Another goal line set, 1 yard to go. Can Seattle do it again? Curtis will go in motion. Toss. Wow. Logan Lee's got room. It's a touchdown. Vancouver lead. They were down 21-7 to end the first quarter, and now they're midway through the third. They're up by 2.
Yeah, Vancouver's just flipped the script here in the second quarter, and now the third quarter. They've just looked a little more settled than Seattle has. And, obviously those turnovers aren't helping Seattle any. This defense has been on the field an awful lot because of those turnovers. And now Vancouver's going to kick it. I maybe expected them to go for 2, to go up by 3, but it's still pretty early.
Chance to win. His extra point is up and through, and there we go. Only 2 possessions so far, but that's the opening score. Tonight, after the Saturday competition is over, the Scenario Show crew will get together one more time to break down the remaining 8 scenarios left that will decide this season's epic postseason bracket. What does your team need, and who will you play? It all goes down tonight. Stay up late with us, 11:45 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on SFL YouTube. That kickoff by Highwind is not returned. And we'll see the Seattle offense come back out here to try and reclaim the lead that they held for almost 16 minutes of play. Well, actually, it would have been longer. They score the first. They've had the lead up until this point. Attack outside.
Oh, wow.
That looked like it may have been a forward pass. They're going to rule it from. We saw one of these situations earlier this week in the Denver game, and that's almost certainly a forward pass.
I think that was forward completion. Yeah, I think they're going to have to take a look at this. I'd be surprised if they don't throw the flag. Is that 5 yards? Might be a difference maker here. Oh, are they not going to challenge this?
There you go. So they're going to take the 5-yard loss. Wowee.
Maybe they want to not risk the timeouts, but that's a kind of a shocking decision.
Attack a deep drop. That's going to get yardage back. Finds T. DeQueen and makes it a bit more of a manageable third down.
I love these Seattle unis. They look like grape jelly I put on a McDonald's biscuit. Just, you can tell I haven't had dinner yet.
I'm not familiar with that reference, but I'll take your word on it. Attack's going to run it, and he won't get it. Oh, swallowed up. Looked like Josh Farnsey got there and made the stop.
That's good. They probably don't have that brekkie in Australia for McDonald's. It's okay.
No, I don't think they do somehow. I haven't looked for it, for that matter. Punt from Lilac Butte, the first time we've seen her this evening, I believe. Is caught at the 37. A return no further by Killian. So Vancouver have now got an opportunity to extend this lead that they haven't had since the opening quarter. Worth mentioning on that last drive, Logan Lee had the ball all but once on that drive, and the only other play went to Chris Curtis through the air for that 16-yard completion. Thank you to Ron Haynes for that tidbit. Brown with twins to his left. He'll drop back. Cross his body. That's caught. Brett Killian.
Oh, what a catch.
The defender draped all over him, makes a catch and gets a first.
Right, I'm looking at my notes. That was the first Seattle punt of this game. Really nice catch, though, by Chris Curtis. And, I'm sorry, that was that Chris Curtis? No, that was Brett Killian. What a grab.
Both of these outside receivers have been involved this evening. Logan Lee will go straight back to it, though, and he'll pick up 5. And I think Seattle were frustrated last time with the drive from Vancouver because they just kept going to Logan Lee. But if you can't stop it, they're going to keep going to it at the end of the day because they wanted. I think now that they have control over the game, they're going to want to try and keep that control rather than throwing turnovers like we saw in that opening half.
Yeah.
Joker's set. Curtis the lone receiver, and Lee's going to get a carry, breaks it off. Kanan's the only man back there, and he'll make the tackle. In fact, it was Aaron Gooden in pursuit. But that Logan Lee breaks off another one.
This defense looks gas, partner. I mean, it makes sense because, the offense has been turning the ball over a lot. Vancouver's been running it and keeping possession for a long time. And you're starting to see evidence that they're a little bit winded out there. They're not able to get the pursuit on Logan Lee that they might want. And Logan Lee's taking advantage of all of it.
Brown drops back, across his body, caught McMichaels, first down.
That was a dangerous pass, but right now it's just kind of all going for Vancouver. So maybe, almost gets hung up there, but gets behind that defender. And Christian Brown puts it perfectly, just a couple of inches left or right. That could have been a pick.
We'll throw those stats again. You see there, this middle of Seattle's defense has been exposed to the pass all game, but in particular that big touchdown from Killian is involved, and there is Logan Lee again. He carried it straight up the middle and just plowed straight through the Seattle defense. And there you go, 2 straight touchdown scores from Vancouver. This game is starting to really shift in momentum.
Yeah, and you could just see the difference. Like, when Logan Lee was running up the middle at the goal line in the drive before, he would maybe get up to the line and then kind of get driven back. The Seattle defense still looked like they had some energy. They just did not look like they had the energy to stop Logan Lee on that drive.
Chance to win his extra point. He's up and good, and all of a sudden, it's now out beyond 2 scores. What a change of storyline here. The home team looked very much on the ropes in the early stages of the game. All of a sudden, they've got a very nice little lead here, leading into the 4th quarter. Kickoff, and will be caught by Highwind at the goal line. And he will return it to the outside. Fox Highwind almost breaks it off. It's to the 35. We've got a game update, sending it back to SFL Studios.
Thanks, Jacob. One of the best plays you'll see all season. TD Jack on the sidelines. This play was reviewed. It hits him in the shoulder. They overturned the call, say he dragged the second foot right there before he went out of bounds. Los Angeles was down 20-3 at the half, but trailed just 6. They have the football late in the 3rd. Back to you guys.
There you go. Both games have seen some impressive comebacks. Vancouver's perhaps more important and more impressive for that matter in the nature of their season. And Seattle are now on the ropes. Patak looks across. It's caught downfield. He's off. Fox Highwind to open space, and he's going to flip the field. It's Paulie Truth.
Wow, Truth just got behind his defenders here, and Patak hits him in stride. And
Drew Hamilton, he was looking for the fourth.
Hamilton wanted it really bad, but just didn't get the timing right. Truth with a huge gain. 112 yards through the air today for a talented tight end. Again, more known for kind of being a red zone target, but that was a huge play.
Patak, one-handed grab. Boy, was that impressive. T de Queen, and that could be a candidate for your nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game of your player in an SFL 4K23. We've seen a few impressive catches, but T de Queen, that's one of those one-handed grabs that stands out on the highlight reel packages. And now Seattle staring down the goal line. We might get this playoff before the quarter's out. He will. Patak across his body, incomplete, but it's going to be a flag down. We've got some laundry. That's going to put Seattle on the goal line.
Wow, right there. That is a killer penalty on Emmanuel Blackman. Let's see. I don't love that call. I think that's a little ticky-tack. It looked like it was bang-bang to me. But that's still a killer penalty for Vancouver. And now Seattle's set up nicely. This is, I think, Blue Scott territory, but we'll see what they draw up.
We've got a second left before that flag was drawn, so we will see this play before the quarter's out. Blue Scott in the goal line eye. Patak's going to roll out. He's got Scott at the goal line. She got it. Blue Scott on the reception. And we're back within 3.
That was... I mean, I can't even believe that this pass got into Blue Scott's hands. This was a Blue Scott play more than a Ty Patak play. Coming back to grab that kind of behind her hip. I'll be curious to see if they look at this one again, because that was awfully close to being not across the line. But if this stands, and it looks like it will, what a play for Blue Scott, who's doing everything for this Nemesis offense.
Kick is up and good, and there you go. Lead cut right back down to 2. What a way to end the third quarter here at the Delta Dome. Vancouver to receive possession again with the 2-point lead at the start of the third. We'll be right back.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Thank you, Curtis. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League, as Sunseri will return then up past the 25 to explore their library. Visit apmmusic.com, and we'll see the Vancouver Legion offense coming out here to try and reinstate that 9-point lead they had leading into the back end of that third quarter. But John Warren, we are in for a treat here in this fourth quarter grandstand finish here in Vancouver, British Columbia. Both teams desperately need this season, this win, I should say, for their seasons. Handoff Lee outside, broke the first, and he's dumped by Doug Day, or rather Bryant James, the other safety. As mentioned at the start of the game, Vancouver are still trying to improve their playoff chances at 7-5 with a win. Seattle are still in contention for a first-round bye. If they lose this game, they will not have any chance of taking that first-round bye and that 4th seed. They will have to play in the wildcard round. Brown across his body. That's caught. Impressive grab. And now pick up a first down. That's the first sighting of Zorro Luna, and that will pick up a first down. Actually, check that. That's Abad Ruiz, the backup tight end. That's his first career grab.
That is incredible.
Unbelievable.
And it couldn't have come at a better time. I was going to say, Vancouver, I mean, Seattle putting points on the board, probably their best outcome from that drive, obviously, but also getting this defense a little bit of rest. That was a good first down from Vancouver, but this team looks a little more rested to me, ready to take down Logan Lee like on that play.
Logan Lee picks up 4, and we'll see Seattle, you're right, they were looking a little bit deflated defensively on that that penultimate drive of the quarter there, and then the offensive drive from Seattle perhaps put some life into it. Split backfield here for Lee. Drops back, crosses his body, it's caught. That's the same target. Oh no, McMichaels checks back in. That's his 3rd catch of the game. You mentioned the McDonald's biscuit and jelly or whatever it was you said. Add a Big Mac to the order. He's had a good night.
He's had a really good night. It's really, really tough catch. A good route for a big man to run on the outside. And Christian Brown has looked a lot better in the second half than he did in a shaky first.
Single back is Lee. Across his body, that's caught by Killian for a 7-yard pickup here. Someone mentioned, I think it was DJ Woods mentioned in the chat that Robert Redford has been unsighted in this game. He hasn't been subbed in. It's been all Logan Lee tonight. The natural has been kept warming the bench tonight. But a decision that's probably been warranted given the form that Lee has been in this, particularly in the back end of this game. They're going to go back to him on the outside. He's going to get the first. Had to be brought down by a double team on the outside to save him from breaking it off, assisted by TJ Frosty.
It actually did not give him the first down on that, which is kind of a stunning spot. A generous spot earlier on that Abad Ruiz catch, so maybe the officials are doing a makeup call on this one.
Spreading the love with the spots, perhaps. Brown will go back to Lee, no problem. He'll pick up a first and is shoved to the ground eventually. But not before he picked up the first. And there's another sighting for Logan Lee, who has, as we mentioned, has been very impressive now. Vancouver inside the 35, so the worst case scenario here is you knock over the field goal. But they want 7. Spread receivers. Handoff will go back to Lee, and he will pick up 5 again, and that's just been his average tonight. He's either carried it forward for about 5 or 6, or he's broken it off.
Yeah, and we've seen this game just slow way down in the second half, which I think benefits Vancouver.
Already 3.5 minutes drained off that fourth quarter clock, I should say. Toss play to the outside, finds Lee, defended well. Seattle packs the pressure in and it gets home. That's going to force Vancouver into a 3rd and 5. I think this is decision time, isn't it, John? You either take the gamble and throw it, or do you put it on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, Christian Brown has looked a little more settled in, so I probably wouldn't be too shaky on giving him a shot here, but
Brown's going to roll out. He's got pass protection across his body. Great throw, great catch. Chris Curtis, that was beautiful from Christian Brown.
Yeah, that was. Him rolling out to the right obviously made people think, okay, he's going to maybe one of these checkdowns in the flat. He had a couple guys in the middle, but he went back across his body, which you don't necessarily want to see a quarterback do. But when you've got a strong arm like Christian Brown, you've been in the league for 6 seasons, you can do that, especially when you have a receiver like Chris Curtis.
Logan Lee, 36 attempts, 219 yards at an average of just over 6 yards per carry with that 3 scores. And he'll get the carry here again. And that maintains his average of 7 per carry. It just keeps it going, but that's a great stat line provided to us by Ron Haynes and James Walters. We appreciate you hanging out with us in the booth, keeping us educated on the events of this game. There's been so much to cover from a stats perspective. Looks like another Logan Lee set here. Brown, handoff straight up middle. Oh, he got caught behind a blocker. So that's a result for Seattle. Aaron Gooden able to get in and make the tackle, and now another third down for Vancouver.
Yeah, and if you exclude that first quarter where Logan Lee was really just, stuffed by the Seattle Nemesis defense, that average has got to be well over 6.5, maybe even 7. I mean, he's just had an outstanding game after that first quarter.
Handoff Lee outside. He's got space, and he's got 6 points. Logan Lee's got a 4th touchdown in this game.
Yeah, maybe the most impressive 3 quarters I've seen a running back have this season. It was all about Blue Scott on Seattle's side early, and it looked like she was going to run away clearly with the best performance of this game. But Logan Lee has just taken over for Vancouver, really made Seattle pay for those turnovers by burning clock, scoring points, and tiring out this Seattle Nemesis defense.
I'll tell you what, some said at time of draft that Andy Hamilton picking up Logan Lee right at the end of day 1 of the rookie draft was a massive steal, when he now has a 26 touchdown season. That's something else. And look, I mentioned in my pre-game notes that we were looking at the rushing touchdown all-time leader in terms of touchdowns as a single season. That was 28 back in season 8. That looked to be out of reach, but I tell you what, Logan Lee is going to come close with this performance today. Kickoff has not been returned, and Seattle now playing from behind once again. And we'll see what Patak draws up. But boy, oh boy, this will have over 80 combined points, you think. What a game it's been. We've smashed the over provided by Jack Starter. Seattle now in a bunch. 2 Pataks left. Patak cross his body. That's caught for a first down. Great throw. Finds Gus Scott. First sighting of the other Scott for the game.
I think that makes it official. The Type Attack has gotten this into the hands of every single possible receiver on this team, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that's impressive balance, impressive spread. It might be too little, too late, but there's still a ton of time for an offense like Seattle to get downfield. So
they brought in all those new faces. It was a question of how will they get them all involved. He's done that, and he's going to go back to the air on the outside. And that's another first down catch for the Fox.
Yeah, I mean, if you exclude the backfields of this game, Fox Highwind has just had one of the games of his season, and has been super impressive just with these routes and just winning these one-on-one coverages. It's been a really nice game for him.
Attack across his body, that's caught. And it's another first down. Now comes the no-huddle offense in this twin set. Patak likes what he sees. He's going to drop back again. One-handed grab. Oh, mama. Great catch. Looked like it may have been one of the inside receivers. John Fullerton, perhaps. Or Tita Queen, rather. That's caught by Fox Highwind. They're now inside goal line territory. They keep the no-huddle look. Patak. He's got a route to the outside. Oh, he was looking for truth. He changed it up. But a good tip from Mark Lopez. It's been a while since we've called his name. I tell you what, Blue Scott was running an outside route, and I wonder if Patak had looked across his body. He might have just been caught in the same frame of mind. But fortunately, it falls away, and they can adjust the formation. He's going to go aggressive here. Empty back set. Look out. They're throwing this. Or potentially another design run for Patak. He'll drop back. Type Attack will evade the sack twice. Type Attack end zone incomplete. Oh my goodness, if we had completed that, it would have been play of the season caliber. But Josh Farnsey deflected away.
They're asking Type Attack to do too much here, though. I don't understand the strategy here. You've got Blue Scott who early on in this game looked completely unstoppable. Type Attack's throwing some costly interceptions. Just slow it down. It's 4 down territory.
Done here. They are not running this ball unless Patak takes it down
Shocking.
himself. Patak, this time he's got more protection outside. That's caught. Touchdown. Gus Scott's second catch and a touchdown to boot for number 14.
What do I know, right? Gus Scott gets out on the outside here. Type Attack throws perfectly underneath for him. And yeah, that's his second catch of the game. His 4th touchdown this season. Couldn't come at a better time for Seattle, who still has plenty of time to come back and possibly win this thing.
Under 3 minutes left, 84 combined points we've had. I believe, confirmed by the stats truck, we've had over 1,000 total yards of offense between these two sides.
That is astonishing.
One of those games. Unreal. Now available free to download, you can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K 23 in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com, search SFL and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid, the official console of the SFL, as that's Sunseri, I believe, returning that up past the 30 to the 35. And no further, and I tell you what, if you're picking up the Retroid in the next couple of weeks, you'd be looking to play with these two teams with the amount of offensive talent that we've seen on show in this game. And
absolutely
unreal.
Absolutely. Seattle averaging 421 yards of offense. They have 560 today. Vancouver, for their part, averaging 428 on offense, and they're up to 476. Thanks to our stats truck for those updated stats. I mean, these two teams are just exploded today.
Brown will throw. Interesting decision. Oh, tipped away. Athletic jump from Amar Bryant Jr. And it was Daniel Valentine, rather. And boy, oh boy, you did not expect Vancouver to pass out of that situation at all. We thought for sure, given the way that Logan Lee has been carrying the ball, that they would just put it on the ground, and Christian Brown nearly gave Seattle an absolute gem. And they'll go back to another Twins set here. That burns a play. That could be costly, depending on the outcome of this play here. Hand off Lee. He will pick up 5, give it 6. So that means that they've got to try and convert here on 3rd down. Boy, oh boy, that was a chancy decision.
And almost worse than the pick, the near pick, was it stopped the clock. And now they can't even get this down to the 2-minute warning before they've got to run this 3rd down play. So kind of a head scratcher, but we'll see what they draw up, maybe for Logan Lee here.
Goal line eye here. Seattle have got to plug the middle of their defense. Brown's going to throw across his body. Oh, one-handed grab. Stephen McMichaels has had a masterclass today at the tight end position. And Sean Parent has gone down on the inside of Seattle's line, injured. But what a play.
Yeah, this has thankfully been in it. Oh, go ahead.
He's now over 500 career yards on his career. He's had 7 seasons in the league, but again, by virtue of the fact that he was a long-time fullback, he just hasn't had that production, but has slotted into that tight end role beautifully in his Vancouver offense.
Yeah, he's had a great game so far.
On the goal line, Seattle are now, but that injury may have been beneficial, if anything, because it stopped the clock before the 2-minute warning. We hope that Sean Parent's okay. But in the context of this game, they might not mind that. Handoff, Lee outside. That's going to get for another injury on the play. Oh boy.
Wow.
It's Logan Lee. Now Robert Redford's going to have to come into the game. He's probably, all of his muscles are probably cold at this point because he's been sitting on the bench in this Canadian air. But Andy Hamilton's going to have to swear in the veteran here as the lead back in the absence of Logan Lee. We've seen this a few times this season where their excess carries of Logan Lee set a career high tonight in that department. But what will that mean now with the lead back out of the game? But what a What an opportunity. What a time to have a player like Robert Redford sitting in the wings. He will get the carry straight away up to side. And Robert Redford is off and racing. What an introduction. It's like Logan Lee never left the game. The natural, straight in, and a big carry. They probably should have done that earlier.
Yeah, you really can't ask for a better backup, right? I mean, he's a legendary player, and he just cuts to the outside here and goes down inbounds. I mean, that was the best part. So they can just get the 2-minute warning and continue to run this clock out.
Here we go. We finally get to the 2-minute warning. 2 injuries before the 2-minute warning stopped the clock, but we got there in the end. Robert Redford is in with the absence of Logan Lee. They effectively ran him into the ground in this game. So now it's the veteran that needs to get the job done here for Vancouver. Seattle needs a stop. Redford up the middle. That's better. They double team him.
And Seattle's got to just not break here, not allow the touchdown. If Vancouver scores a touchdown, this thing is on ice. If they can hold Vancouver to a field goal, then they've got a real opportunity to go back and still win this game late.
Split jacks, look. Handoff. Redford left side. That's going to be close to a first. He didn't quite get it. So here's Seattle's opportunity. They've got to get a stop here. And yes, Hunter Norwood, that is Hall of Famer Robert Redford. I would love, personally, as a coach, to be able to have a Hall of Fame running back just sitting on my bench to bring in at will. Because that's such an advantage at this point in the game. Same set. They're going to bring the tight ends out. Seattle have got to plug the middle of their defense. Hand off, Redford. He's got it. Not enough pressure from Seattle's front seven, and that might be a game-winning play from Robert Redford.
I mean, what a story, right? I mean, Logan Lee has just been totally dominating this game. I hope he's all right, obviously, but it's it's an incredibly fortunate thing to have Robert Redford back there, and he just iced this game for Vancouver. Huge game for this offense to get back in rhythm in the second half.
Will be right onto Logan Lee because Vancouver, by all accounts, are heading for the playoffs for the 9th straight season in their long history. They have not missed since season 13, and they also lock in their 9th straight 7-5 record or better. Just such consistency from Vancouver, and they'll want to make sure that Logan Lee is right to go for that game, and as he is such an important piece, set a career high in rushing attempts, I should say, in tonight's game, along with 4 touchdowns. He was the difference maker, and Seattle are going to miss out on a first-round bye. Commissioner Cameron Irvine with a final game update.
When you're done, guys, don't forget about Portland, Los Angeles. This game is still not over. LA just went 4 plays in about 10 seconds and just recovered the onside kick. So LA just got the onside kick. They have all 3 timeouts, down 6 with 1:45 left. Back to your conclusion.
Oh, wow, I'm going to have to get out the split screen here to start the Saturday evening block. And we've got another 2 important games to finish off tonight. And then we've got the scenario show, so do not go anywhere. The Central Division will be decided between 2 games starting at 9 o'clock. And then, as mentioned earlier, we've got our scenario show at 11:45. John Warren, what a game we've just seen. I want to get your key takeaways as this clock winds out. Vancouver win.
It was just such a, obviously the first half was just one of the wildest things I've ever seen. Vancouver, they seemed to adjust the game plan in a way that made a lot of sense. Slow things down in the second half, let Christian Brown make some easier passes, but also get Logan Lee totally involved. Logan Lee gets my game ball, kind of maybe a no-brainer at this point, 246 yards, 4 touchdowns. Vancouver, Seattle dropped that game to Mexico City. You kind of think, that might have just been a fluke. You wonder about these 2 losses heading into the playoffs, what that will do to the division winner in the Pacific. For Vancouver, this is good momentum for them to get into the playoffs, and Logan Lee and Robert Redford, a really dangerous tandem in the backfield. And I don't know, but I'm just so happy we saw these offenses go off. We had joked at the beginning of the broadcast before we even went on, knowing our luck, maybe it was going to be a 6-3 defensive battle or whatever, but this was just a boat race from start to finish, and it was a blast.
Nearly 90 combined total points. If you wanted offense, you got it. 1,133 total yards across both sides, along with 8 combined turnovers. This game had everything that it promised. An instant classic has finished here in Vancouver, British Columbia. The Legion are going to push to 7-5 and improve their playoff chances. Seattle are going to be caught in a logjam at 8-4. They still have locked in their best season yet as a team in this league. For Jacob Clear alongside John Warren, the stats department, with Ron Haynes and James Walters, we say good evening to you, and we'll see you again in about half an hour for the next block of games between Indy and Sioux Falls and Minnesota and Tulsa. See you around.